What's going on, everyone? What's going on? We are back. Jimmy Easy Mafia Life YouTube channel. Thank you all for joining. We appreciate it so much. Going to have a few things we're going to go over today. The topic is going to be the fall of the Delcavecante family through an FBI agent's eyes. Whatever questions you guys got, feel free to ask. I hope you guys liked the show yesterday. It was a good one with Dom and Gene. We missed some questions. Sorry for that, but that was a last minute switch up that we didn't know about. But we went along with it. We made it happen, and it was great, people. So let's go ahead and get into it. Introduce the man himself, Mr. Jimmy Easy. What's up, brother?
Hey, folks. How are you? Thank you for joining in, everybody. I appreciate it. I really do. Hopefully we'll have a good show. We have some laughs. Talk about anything you feel free you want to ask. Ask me anything. I don't hold no back nothing.
And guys, just give me a few. Bear with me with the questions. Whatever you guys want to shoot me over and ask, I'll then put it on the screen, give it to Jim, and we can go and ask about it. So let's get started. What questions do we got, people? First things first, how do we sound? How's the video? How do we sound? Is everything good? Do you guys hear us? Please let us know in the chat before we continue further. Shout out to Florida guy, Brooklyn. We go hard. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. First question. Sincere Saida. Did you guys see Proctor's video today regarding Gotti Jr.? Honestly, I did not. Did you see it, Jim?
No, I didn't look at it. What was it about? Can they tell us? No.
Let us know in the chat. What was it about, Sincere? We would love to speak on it. What was it about?
What was the subject?
Thank you so much, Sarax, for the audio. We appreciate it. What do we got here? Keith Perkins, 2242. Do you remember TNT Towing?
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, brother.
What they were in Brooklyn, Bensiders, Bay Ridge, one of those areas. They ran like by Narrows and Mikey Spat, all them. We had full service collision on 60th or 65th by the Path Mark. That was us. But one of my drivers on Memorial Day weekend, he blew us the light on 3rd Avenue and 60th Street under the L there. And it was a bad fatality, a husband, wife, and 2 kids. So that's where we pretty much stopped chasing.
Yeah, that was a devastating
I know who
time.
TNT was. Yes, good people.
And if you know what chasing means, that means tow trucks that speed to accidents to get there first, to get the first opportunity to speak to the customer, to bring the job back to their shop. That's what he means by chasing. So let's move on, people. Jimmy, sativa or indica? What you smoking?
Indica.
Good question. Good question.
I like to be mellow.
I'm an indica type of guy myself. So let's get to the topic of this. We were looking at a interview regarding a FBI agent, Seamus, I believe his name is. Seamus, yeah. I seen a video regarding him, an interview, and I wanted to actually go over that about the takedown of the Delcavecante crew. Explain like what happened there and what went on. How did it start?
There was a gentleman named Ralphie Guarino. He was around Rudy at the time, but when Rudy passed away, he was around Rudy, Joe. Vinny took him under him. So Ralphie was a schemer, hustler. Any move, he found it. And he come up with a guy named Sal on 23rd Street to rob the World Trade Center. There was a bank up on the floor. There a lot of exchange currency came through, and it wasn't like a real bank, but it's like a courier. So Sal worked there for years. He waited till a big enough one came, and Ralphie put a team together, him and 3 other guys, and they robbed it. And one of the guys getting off the elevator took his mask off too soon, and they got a shot of him. He flipped. When he flipped, they went to Ralphie, and they said to Ralphie, George Hanna, he's an organized crime FBI agent. He's the top. He said, because Ralphie just came home, did 14, 12 years, 12 or 14, I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
And he said, listen, Ralphie, you don't want to go back. I know what you did, this and that. He gave him his card. Think about it a day or two. Ralphie called him up. I'll play ball. So Ralphie wires up on the Her Jersey crew. Mostly the Brooklyn fraction because he was under Rudy on Fifth Avenue, 2nd Street with us. So
Okay.
when Rudy died, Vinny took over his spot. Well, Vinny was the boss, but he decided who took over half of Rudy's Shylock business, bookmaker,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was all about this. So
Understandable.
he brings Ralphie around him, starts taking money off. Ralphie's flipping homes, hustling this, scheming that. Took money off, no, I guess, the World Trade Center robbery.
Yeah.
Ralphie got him on wire. He got Anthony Rotondo on wire, Anthony Capo, I think Rick DiCiera, the main guys. The
Yeah.
other ones, I don't think he worried about them. But he got them on wire. So that was like 98, I think he robbed it. I come home in 99 to a halfway house. And I went partners with a doctor on a medical center, but we'll talk about that on another show.
For
And
sure.
I seen Ralphie, and I walked over to Ralphie, how are you now? Me and him were close. But he gave me a look like, stay away from me, kid, stay away from me. You'll understand why. You'll realize what I mean. Now, remind you, before I went away, I had a beef with his best friend, Denny Holmes. I shot his son, Ronald. And that's Ronald's godfather. So I don't know if it was that. So I just walked away from him. 3 days later, all over the news, 40-something Decavalcantes rounded up. Ralphie Guarino was wearing a wire.
Actually, I have a statement for that. I don't even know if you know the numbers, but from what I seen, he wore a wire and he recorded over 350 conversations after the world trade heist. Yeah, took down a lot of people with those recordings.
And the main one that Anthony Capo, he was around Rudy, mostly the Brooklyn fraction. He lived in Staten Island. And Anthony Capo, he had bodies. And when they pinched him, he opened up right away, made a deal.
Yeah, yeah,
So he was the shooter on one of them. Anthony did some work, and then the other one, the Fred Weiss, he wasn't the shooter. Jimmy Gowan, all them was. Uh, so he flips. Next thing you know, Anthony Rotunda flips. Now they bring me in on extortion charge again. I did not do it. That was their way to get me in and show me this is what you're facing. This is what you're facing. It's this George Hanna, Steve Browse, Mike Ferrandino, George Wright, all the agents were there. I said, listen,
yeah,
guys, just book me in, please. They booked me in. They kept trying to get a hold of me through my lawyer. Told my lawyer, don't bring that up to me no more. Don't bring that up to me. We're going to trial. My sister came up with my son and his mother, and they said, Flip, why don't you send me to Bull Did in the neighborhood? You have a new life. The baby needs you. I said, I could never, never. I kissed my
never.
son goodbye. I kissed him goodbye. I said, go on. I'm going to be a long time if I come home. I'll make sure my son gets money.
So
And
we're
he
gonna
did.
get back to that for sure. We're gonna get back to that story. Let's just go and take a question from one of the subscribers. Since yesterday we were a little backed up and couldn't do that. So we got one from Constantino 1532. Jimmy, what's your best fight story?
There's a bunch of them. I've been in so many fights. 62 and probably the one at the racetrack. The guy. I bought a brand new car, Corvette. And I drove my father to the track, pick him up. My father lived on Coancy Street, right by the aqueduct. So going there, I picked my dad up. I get the valet. You know, you just got it. The valet kid gets in it to go park it.
Yeah.
Smoked my wheels. It was eating me up. I said, I'm coming out. Finally, I had to say something. And then he said something, and I just went after him. That was one of them. My father pulled me off him.
Pulled you
And
off of
then,
him at the
make it long
time?
so short, listen to this. A month later, my father's got tenants living downstairs from him, and her daughter was there. Her boyfriend comes over. Guess who it is? The valet guy. We made friends. We shook hands.
So everything's good now? We don't got to worry about the valet guy coming to get you?
No, that's my main worry, the valet guy. Not for
Okay,
that.
okay. Shout out to Luan. Did Rudy live in Mill Basin and drive a Rolls Royce?
He lived in Mill Basin. No, I bought the 560 off him. Rudy drove usually like Lincolns, Cadillacs, but no Rolls Royce. Never as long as I knew him.
Shout out to James O'Connor, 5154. Yo, Jimmy, did any of the old timers ever tell you any stories about Luciano or Gambino, etc.?
Luciano, no, but I know like there's a lot of guys admire him. But a lot of the old timers used to say Carlo Gambino was the sharpest, dressed low key. He had the garment district locked down. He was really like a legitimate guy going home every day. You look at him walk, and they said he just laid under the radar. He did not agitate the feds. Probably, I heard more good things about him, you know, than Luciano. Luciano, that's way back for me.
Shout out to Silanto Turku 8112. Did you ever have any interaction with Tony C or Caserta from New Jersey?
It don't ring a bell to me. I'm sorry. I don't sound familiar. Was he with the Decavicantes?
Was he with the Delcavecante crew, guys? Let us know in the chat. We'll come back to it. Can you say, shout out to Paul Carly H32, can you say what you would have done when Gas Pipe had the man in the basement tied to a chair, and I think a couple of people went down and seen him and left him to get tortured and killed?
I think
Good
they're
question,
talking
brother.
about the Frankie Heidel murder, correct?
Is that
If it
what we're
was a
talking
Frankie
about, Paul?
Heidel murder, that's what I think they're talking about because they lured him into a house because he tried to kill Gas Pipe on orders, and he botched a hit. So when you botch a hit, you go from the hunter to the huntee.
Mm.
And that's what happened. That's got to be Frankie Heidel's murder. But Gas Pipe, he's got to have 20 bodies. So, but I would bet that's what he's talking about. They tortured him a little bit. I mean, I don't want the families are out there,
Guys,
but
confirm it in the chat. Was it the Heidel? Everyone in the
Frankie
chat, 78
Heidel
people.
murder.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe. It costs you guys nothing. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it. We're taking questions all day. Jimmy, do you know any Savage Skulls from Brooklyn, Union Street, Irish guys? Shout out to Johnny McCartan, B5P.
Okay, McCartan. You're not Johnny McCarthy. No, McCarty from Garfield Street. Are you McCarty? Jimmy McCarty?
Enter us in the chat, guys. We'll come back to it for sure. I
That's
got I
if it
got one
is. He was
from
Irish kid from Garfield was the Irish people. That's where Al Capone grew up.
yeah,
But Garfield was the Irish boys, and then Carroll was the Italian kid. President was Puerto Ricans, and then president I think was the blacks or the Dominican. I forgot how it worked. It's been
he
so
said
many
no.
years.
He said no.
No, I don't. No,
I guess he said no in the chat. We appreciate that question.
I appreciate it too. I
Shout
didn't
out to
know.
Constantino 1532. What's the youngest age you've heard of someone around the mob? My great aunt was Al Capone. My great aunt was with Al Capone when she was 8. That's
Wow,
a charge.
brother, you'd be able to talk better on that.
Oh
They were
man,
8. I don't know where I was.
that don't sound good.
No.
Shout out to Florida guy Jimmy. Who do you think is the greatest mafia boss ever, as far as running a family? Good question.
I mean, he played crazy, but I would definitely go with the chin. There's certain guys that are like really thugs and stand up and earners. The chin overall,
The chin guys. I
without a doubt.
believe it's in between the
Carlo
chin.
Gambino or the chin, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the generation when I was out. More. I would say the chin. Everybody talked about how sharp he was, how conservative, low key. He walked around with a bathrobe.
What do you feel about Persico Jr., the snake?
Treacherous, treacherous. I mean, he killed a lot of people. Common was this big, and let me tell you something. Size don't mean nothing when you got, a crew that he had under. He had Scappy, McIntosh. I mean, these are the names that I'm showing my age, I guess. But he had Jerry Lang. He had guys around him that were serious guys.
Yeah.
And back then, they didn't have you get caught with a handgun 5 years mandatory. Every wise guy carried a pistol. Nowadays, they made it. Giuliani passed that law, 5 years mandatory for a gun, and that made guys like us. We don't go away 5 years, and then after two, 3 times, it's 29. So you're convicted.
Not
You're what they call it, a career
three
criminal,
strike law,
CC.
correct? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
CC, three strike.
Shout out to McAdam 1026. Finish the debate once and for all. Lincoln or Cadillac, Jim? I think I know the answer to his, but go ahead.
Probably either one, but if I had to, Cadillac, probably.
Cadillac, guys. Cadillac.
I'm a
I
big
would
Toyota
say
nut, though.
Cadillac as well. Jimmy, what do we got here? Chris Hogan, 7,500. Yo, Jimmy, you ever go to Montreal to party? You look familiar. I was born and raised there and met many people. I don't need to elaborate. Come to Montreal. It's crazy out here now.
I've been there. A lot of Italians in Montreal. But we went up there just. I drove guys up there to sit down and over a beef that I don't even remember what it was because I waited in the car. I was a young kid. But no, I really never partied there, but I liked it.
Shout out to Montreal. We appreciate you for the question. What are you gonna do? What's up, brother? Thank you for joining always. Jimmy, after all the people you met in that life, what is the first thing you look at when sizing up a man's character today? Good question, man.
Well, it depends on you look at it, like business wise, legitimate guy or a street guy. Street guy, you look at him, you try to see how eye contact. To me, eyes never lie. I always said that. You can't look me in the eyes. There's something wrong with you, and especially a street guy. So it would probably be that. Look, yeah.
Definitely. If somebody looks away from you and it's the first time you're meeting them, that's a huge flag right there, people. So just back away. Shout out to Scott Cohen 4847. You need a podcast with Scott Bernstein. Hey, listen, Scott, thinking about that. I actually sent him an email. If you guys can do it on your end, feel free. But Jimmy's a huge fan and he asked me to send an email out to him and he would love to go on with him. So have him
Today we
email
talked
us.
about that one.
For sure. We definitely spoke about that. So shout out to Scott Bernstein. He does great work. And whenever he wants to have him on, he's there without a doubt. Shout out to Francisco. Francisco, what's up, brother? Thank you for coming in as always. Jimmy, do you think Sammy was thrown under the bus by Gotti and was betrayed?
That's a very good thing. Honestly, did John bring heat? Yes, but that's part of the life. If John got caught on a wire upstairs, do you think he wanted to go to jail? And that was my argument with Sammy and Witsec unit. When he kept babbling about John's big mouth, I would have been in this mess. So finally I got to the point where I says, so let me ask you something. You knew he was going to jam you up. Why didn't you kill him? Oh, Bo, you kill a boss? Why not? You killed Paul Castellano. He didn't talk to me the rest of the day.
So when it comes down to the level of the hierarchy, do you feel that Paul Castellano was the same as far as like were they on the same level, or do you feel Paul Castellano was higher than him?
Paul was the boss. Without a doubt, Paul was the boss. And Neil Delacroce, once Delacroce died, he
Yeah,
was a consigliere, they had a green light to kill him. You knew Paul was gone. Because Paul wanted to see the paperwork on his brothers about the heroin because they were told, don't you sell drugs.
yeah,
And it was in the paperwork. And John said, I'm not turning those fucking paperwork over to nobody. See, you know why? Because John was getting a piece of it. So John turns that paperwork over. Paul's going to tell him, give it to Angelo Ruggiero and Gene Gotti. They took 50 years for heroin not to go to trial because they couldn't. They
yeah.
go to trial and they talk about tapes come out. So John knew the only way he's going to save his brother's life at Angelo's was to kill Paul. Neil wouldn't let him. So after Neil died, all bets off. And handcuffs came off.
So now, being in the life and thinking about it and seeing everything play out the way it played out, how do you think they went about, pulling in these captains? And because I know they need a certain amount of approval to get this thing done, and not only that, I know they need to keep a certain amount of silence, because if that would have got to Paul, how deadly would that have been towards Gotti and Sammy and whoever else was involved with the hit?
Well, when he did, he sent for the paperwork and they wouldn't bring it. So right there, I'm sure John knew he had a problem, and that's why he put a hit team together and figured, that, you know what, him or me. John was a thug. There ain't no, you can't take that from John. John was a real Cosa Nostra, without a doubt. Mob,
Yeah,
without a doubt. But little flamboyant, a little, like reporters, like John Miller would walk down the sidewalk. He'd answer John Miller's only reporter, and the reason why was John Miller had an uncle named Matty Iannello. That's why he answered him. A lot of people don't know that. John Miller is related to a big mob guy from the Genoese.
thank you. Shout out to Hello Hello 1112. Did the Italians and the Albanians get along in New Jersey?
I really can't answer that about the I know the ones in Brooklyn. We didn't have no problems with them. They had problems with the Russians a little bit. Like down by Brighton Beach.
Yeah,
I heard a lot of that, but we never had no problems with them. I mean, we outnumbered them. It's like starting a war with you can't win.
thank you so much for this chat. Thank you so much. Jimmy, do you rate James Proctor as a journalist, or do you think he's extremely biased towards the Gaudis? Also, welcome to the genre. You're doing great. Much love and respect, German. We appreciate you. Next level, Piggott. Thank you so much.
That's a good question. At first, everybody and their sister send me messages. I mean, big people, big names that I didn't even bring on my show yet that agreed to come out that didn't have been on the show. They told me that he worked for them. I'll take everybody for their word until they prove me wrong. And sure enough, he did his digging. He even found more stuff on me how bad I was.
Yeah,
You know, I forgot about the 15 to 25. They were making me run concurrent with the state with another body. Again, Proctor found all that out. When you cooperate, you gotta leave it in their hands.
yeah. And guys,
My
let me,
lawyer didn't even want me to have paperwork because in those units, you got guys doing 30 years. They get your paperwork. They read, okay, I'm going to get on this case. I know all about it. I'm going to call the prosecutor. Hey, I know all about this story too. And they get a Route 35. They come home early on
yeah,
you. So my lawyer said, don't leave nothing in your file cabinet in that unit. And I didn't. And I sent everything. Even when I got letters, I sent them home. And when you go mad at the WITSEC unit, I didn't come out sentenced. They kept me out on bail into 2009
yeah.
because they needed me on other cases, they said. But I was never testified. I never had to testify, thank God. I didn't want to look nobody in the eye and testify. That's not, man. Believe me.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you so much, Next Level. And let me elaborate a little on that. So in the beginning, when we spoke to Proctor, you know, Jimmy had his doubts. He had his doubts. He thought it was going to be biased. He thought, he believed what everyone else believed, that he was, a supporter to the Gaudis and they weren't going to give him a fair share. But I can tell you firsthand, I spoke to James many times. We have numerous conversations, and I can only say that he was fair. He did his research. He found everything on his own, and whatever he didn't find, we sent over to him. And I think he did a great job. I really do. I think he showed that Jimmy is as real as can be, and he just wants to tell his story and be a great father and move on and help these kids that are going down the wrong path or about to make the wrong decision. So we appreciate you, Next Level. We're going to take another question. Shout out to what you're going to do. We appreciate the super chat. Jimmy, you grew up around all kinds of guys. Looking back, what separated the men everybody feared from the men everybody genuinely admired? Good
well,
question.
we'll go. It is really good question. In a mob, like I told you, you got the guys that are feared, the guys who are capable of doing something, and then you got the guys that were the money guys. And when it came to a guy like a feared guy, you're not gonna looking back. What separate the feared guys? Like Michael Facchese said it the best. You got your gangster, yeah, and then you got your wise guy, street guy that knows how to earn, and then you got the guy that's capable. When you get both, you got the deadly combo to become a made guy, and that's when Rudy proposed me after I did work. He proposed me. Then I kept going to jail, but I was proposed. They passed my name around. I mean, I don't even go into
He
all
was
that.
just about to be there. Unfortunately, he kept getting arrested. He got over 12 to 13, so it kind of delayed the process. Thanks for the question. Shout out to Shino BI6666. Thanks you for the super chat. Was Farrington, New Jersey Fed prison for informants?
They have a low and a medium, and then they do have the WITSEC unit. Yes, he's correct.
Thank you for the question. Constantino, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Why do you think Scarpa is more famous than Joe Smash if you think they both were doing the same thing with the government? Good
With
question.
Joe, look, I don't have nothing to prove it. But when you hang with somebody day and night, and I never want to say it about him, and I never did to nobody because he was still alive, and I watched, the obituaries because I didn't want to put a label on a guy. But when the feds are telling me, "Don't worry about Joe," don't worry about Joe, and I learned more. There's another guy, Angel Pender. He's watching right now. He's the one that got caught with the ATF, and he was
Yeah.
involved in one of the murders, and he told them everything.
What do you think about when you watched Goodfellas for the first time? Shout out to Bobby BW4E. Thank you for the question, brother.
I loved it. I mean, you left out of there pumped up. I mean, it was really a movie I'll never forget. It was one of the best, without a doubt. Joe Pesci, he's my favorite. You know,
Shout out to
that's probably
Goodfellas. Great
yeah,
movie. One of
good
the
question.
all-time greats. Shout out to Gambino 5803. Did any informant wear a wire on you?
Yes, you know the movie Goodfellas that you just spoke about. The guy that owned the club when they hit him in the head when he come over with the $6,000 check. When Joe Pesci hit him in the head, Bamboo Lounge, Sonny Bamboo, he wore the wire on me, Nicky Carrazzo, Lenny D. Maria, 47 of us they pinched. That was that case in 97 with Nicky Carrazzo on January 23rd. I took 4 years on that charge.
Shout out to what you're going to do. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you guys. Jimmy, the streets teach a guy to read a room, smell trouble, and keep his mouth shut. They also teach a few things he's going to unlearn. Which lesson served you the most and which one cost you the most? Great question.
What taught me the most was listening to the old timers because they'll tell you, just shut up and listen. That's how they talk to you. And they're right because They've been there, done that. If you want to be like them, you gotta. If they take you under their wing, they're gonna mold you, and they're gonna mold you into their way. Now, sometimes that guy could be a wrong mold for you, but Rudy, fortunately, was a good mold. Joe Smash too. So it depends on the guy you're around too. That means a lot. If you come around a deadbeat, what you're around a boss that's a deadbeat, he's just gonna drain you. Rudy's the type of guy to give me money to put out. It made him more, made me more. He opened up avenues for me.
Thank you guys for these questions. We appreciate you guys. 105 people in the chat. We appreciate all you guys for sticking with us. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, like it, share it. We hope you're enjoying the content. We're doing what we can to make you guys happy. Not only that, to get the story out that Jimmy wants to tell. Shout out to Scott once again. Yes, sir. Y'all doing great, Brooklyn, because I know, understand what you have to do to make pods work. Yes, a lot of time. A lot of time.
Yes. He
For
does all the
sure.
work.
I need help, people. Anybody willing to help, email me, jimmyeasymgmt@gmail.com. Shout out to Francisco. Question: as an associate, what was the biggest thing you learned by watching made guys that you could never have learned from outside the life looking in? Good question, brother.
Talk and observe and do the least talking at the table. You know what I mean? I was always taught that. Just let them talk. Let them get their story out, and you can get your story out. But you already heard his stories. So your best bet is always let the first other person speak first. You hear their case, what their problem is, where they're coming from, and then you know how to address the situation a lot better. You're not
Yeah.
broadsided.
Yeah. Shout
Good
out to
question.
Daz V111. Great work, guys. Quick question. Don't take this the wrong way, but I usually picture mob guys wearing Rolexes. I notice you're wearing a Casio. Do you prefer Casio or do you collect watches?
No, to be honest with you, this is a Walmart 788. What happens is I own a car lots. So I don't wear I do have Rolex. I wear it on sometimes on the show, but I just came from work. We just did one earlier with Brooklyn. Who we do it with just now? iHeart Radio. I was
Yeah,
on.
you was on iHeartRadio, Amazon Live. He's already 3 interviews in, guys, 3 podcasts in for the day.
Yeah, this is
Don't
my
worry,
third
he
one.
got. I've seen the Rolex somewhere. He can vouch. I can vouch for it.
My third podcast. Yeah. No.
Shout out to Paul Carley H32. Do you think Greg Scarpa Jr. was a rat the whole time like his dad? I heard that.
Well, listen. Do you? I'll let you guys determine this. I know Greg, and he took 40 years. Okay. He did not like what his father did. That's what he says. And I believe him. And when he was inside, what happened was allegedly he told everybody he was with Yusuf Abed, the World Trade Center bombers, some of them in the jail, whatever.
Yeah.
So they kept talking to him, confining him, thinking, oh, he's a mob boss, this and that, son. And he said he was reporting it. He said, at first, the FBI told me I was full of shit. He's then on and on and on. He did inform on that. But in his defense, again, you sat with the feds, but you saved probably a lot of lives. So there's another tough situation to be in. You
Yeah,
got
for
20
sure.
years in, you got 10 more to go home like a champ, and then you hear terrorists plotting to hurt Americans. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, that's
So
definitely
that's
a
where
tough
they're saying
situation.
he cooperated.
Shout out to John Costa 2026. Jimmy, did Corsentino Funeral Home in Elizabeth have any ties to the Delcavecante family? Keep up the great work. Love the show. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
I want to say 99% sure because we went out to a funeral. Yeah, I think that's where they buried. If you watch Sopranos, when the boss Jake died, stomach cancer, I think that's where they buried our boss in there. And yeah, I think they are with us. because we want to use another one. Usually, we do business with the people that are earning for us. Like if you're with us and you're paying protection, whatever, borrowed money, we're going to use you.
Yeah.
So probably, yeah, he's right.
There was a funeral home, remember, right on the corner of Fifth Avenue and Carroll Street. That was where all the Columbos used to go and have their wakes. And so, yeah, I believe that. Shout
Palmar
out.
Personal had the club right next door. He didn't
Exactly,
have far to
exactly.
send them.
Shout out to What Are You Gonna Do? Thank you for the super chat, brother, once again. Jimmy, when you raised when you when you're raised with the life right outside your front door, at what point does a young guy stop seeing it as the whole world and realize it's only one version of the world? Great question.
You know when it is? Like, for example, like I heard somebody else on a podcast the other day talking about like when you got a half sheet and you got 10 customers, make it easy. And those 10 customers went, some win, some lose, some draw. The total, they merge it together. Let's say you got to turn in 800. Now, one of those customers is short. You got to lay that money out. See, every week you got to worry about somebody coming up short. You got to lay out that you ain't got it. Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
You're late. Fuck you, pay me. Well, they're gangsters. That's why when they say they're taking away the violence in a mob, you might as well take the mob away if you take the fear factor away.
Yeah, that's true. How you gonna collect? Shout out to McAdam, 1026. What year did you flip again, Jimmy?
Uh, 2000 in December, the first time I sat with the feds, and they had my cooperation agreement ready in days, and then they stuck me in a hole for like 4 months, and then they got a bed open. Witsec, there's not many rooms in that unit. It was a nice unit. It's sad to say jail was nice, but that was a not a hard place to do time. No, it was mostly Italians.
Shout out to Supplier, Cash Supplier. Jimmy, does the name Tango ring any bells?
From where? I mean, are you talking about Charlie Trango? Is he trying to say that?
Is
I
that who you're
can't see
talking
my.
about, guys? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know.
Yeah.
Mike of Denver, Brooklyn Talk, hardest worker in the mob YouTube genre, hands down. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Yo, Kujin, where was Rudy's funeral at? Shout out to Vinny Chicken Cutlets. We appreciate the question.
I'm almost sure I was incarcerated. I told you I got locked up January 23rd with Nicky and Lenny, and Rudy got locked up. Locked up. He died in March. So I was not out. But John Gotti Jr. just showed up to the funeral. Vinny Palermo was there. My brothers were there. They all told me. But I didn't get to go. I was incarcerated.
Rest in peace, Rudy Ferrone. From what I hear, one of the best captains, if not the best captain on the street. Shout out to him. Shout out to Chicken Hawk 47. Jimmy, were you close with the Undertaker Juju from Court Street?
Not really, but he does. He does the work. Yeah, but I wasn't close to him. But we go like on Saturdays after the club, 12, 1 o'clock. We go to Embers or Lumchins or you go somewhere to eat. So he come with us. We talk. But did I do any business with him besides bookmaking a little bit and all? That's it. No work. When I say
Shout out
work,
to
like violence.
Shout out to Florida Guy '03. Jimmy, can you explain how a half sheet actually works? Good question.
Yes. Okay, for example, if you have an office and somebody wants to be a bookmaker around you, and you say, okay, you bring the customers, let them call in, like they'll say 22 for Brooklyn, and you'll know who 22 is. This way on wiretaps, they don't know who nobody is. And at the end of the week, whatever they did, they're going to give you the total at Sunday nights. You got to collect from 22, 800, 300 from 11. You got to pay number 12, 17, whatever the numbers, and whatever the total is, you distribute it.
Thank you
And
for the
but the
question.
good thing is when they lose, let's say that week you're collecting in total between paying and giving, you're coming total 8,000, you get half.
Nice gig. Thank you for the question. Shout out to What Are You Gonna Do? Thank you for the super chat once again. Jimmy, in your experience, what's harder for a man? Admitting he was wrong or admitting he's become somebody different than he thought he'd be?
Well, I thought I'd always be a gangster, and I wasn't. So that was hard, leaving the life. Also, being a new person, legit.
Thank you for the shout out. We appreciate that. You can
I
continue with the question.
Yeah. I mean, I've served total probably about 15, 16 years, not counting a little bit of juvie time, juvenile. I can't read this, Brooklyn. You're going to have to read
No,
that.
that's just thanks for answering the questions here. You guys are great. Jimmy, how many years did you serve in prison? All your bids put together.
4, 6, 11, 12 and a half, and you probably about 15 plus
Over
halfway
15 years.
houses. If you count those, 6 months, 6 months. Work release, yeah, about 16.
16 years, people, of his life down the drain. Kids, stay far away. Shout out to
That
McAdam.
don't make yous learn, kids. You better get help, because I'm no dummy, and I tell you, I couldn't express enough. Get away from this life. Get away. Look,
Shout out to
John Gotti Jr.
McAdam.
walked away from it. Anybody can walk away from it.
Amen to that. What was your biggest street racket? Shout out to McAdam 1026.
Loan sharking. That was my main things. I pled guilty to predicate acts, loan sharking and murder. So that's your two main things they know you enterprised on. Continuous acts.
There you go, guys. Shout out to Bobby W4E. Jimmy, do you think Gene Gotti is running the Gambinos?
Well, I talked to a kid the other day, and he said he is. But I've heard from somebody else. So honestly, I don't know. That's Gene should. He did 40 years, came home, still like a trooper. But I don't know. That'd be hard for me to say. I wasn't even with that crew. But I've heard he is. And then I heard from somebody else it was somebody else. So I'm not sure. I'll be lying if I give an answer.
Thank you for the question. Sorry you couldn't. Jimmy, ever hear of Ray Tango? Sorry for the connection, guys. Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, I never did. Another guy actually bought a tango. I don't know the same tango. No. Now you say Ray, maybe. But I got to know more about him. Was he from Brooklyn, Staten Island, Jersey guy?
Let us
Who?
know where he's from in the chat, guys. We'll come back to it. Shout out to Patrick Shane 4545. Jimmy, you said they modeled Richie after your life. Were you that mean and ruthless in the life?
Oh, I was, like the agent said, I was a menace. And when I got sentenced, I thought I was getting hammered because the judge said, "You're a horrible, horrible little man." And I said, "I'm dead." And he gave me time served. So, but yes, I was bad. I mean, I did a lot of stupid things, and look back now, I say, how can I do these things? How did I do these things? But and then you get older, you get wiser.
Well,
Again,
Patrick
back to the
Shane,
kids, learn.
we can give you one example and you can take it and run with it. Middle of a Super Bowl party, he just walks in and shoots the whole place up. 50 people there. You take that with you. Thank you for the question. We appreciate that, Patrick. Thank you. I'm going through some of these questions here. Bear with me. Jim, you can definitely share your book. Guys, there's 113 people in the live. Everyone hit the subscribe button. It's free. We
Yes,
thank you guys
please.
for all the support. We thank you for the likes. We thank you for sharing. We thank you for all the messages you guys send us. We try to respond to every one of them, including the negative. So we thank all you guys for real. We really do. We just want to let you guys know that we have been monetized, as you can see. We want to extend our thank yous. It took us
Yes.
about 15 days of hard, draining work. We're staying up sometimes 10 to 15 hours a day. We're working real hard to bring you guys these content, so I'm sure you guys understand. Did you guys have any deal? Do you have any dealings with the Philly mob? Shout out to Bobby B.
There was a couple of Philly guys I did business with, sports. One of them was the kid around Joey Molino and Roger Vella, gambling, sports. A couple of guys I did business with. A guy named Stevie out there. Yeah, I done some business with them, but nothing violent. No, it was mostly
Nothing.
business, bookmaking, loan show.
Shout out to Scott. Scott, definitely set it up, brother. Email me, jimmyeasymgmt@gmail.com. Once you set it up, have them email us and we'll definitely set up a date, go through the calendar. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate that. Thank you. Shout out to TBE Racing. Keep up the great work. Cheers. Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you
Thank
very
you.
much. I appreciate
Thank you.
that. That means more to me than glorifying my stupid life or nothing. That right there.
And you're right, Hollywood. Hollywood, please send us the question again. We're sorry about that. I actually made a mistake in the chat and I clicked another question and it threw him off. So send me the question one more time. I definitely want him to answer it. We appreciate that. Question: after all the people you met in that life, what was the first thing you look at when you're sizing up a man's character today?
His appearance, how he shakes your hand, looks you in the eye, like you shake a guy's hand, you look him in the eye. Not, nowadays people give you elbow, hand pump. I'm not from that time, kid.
It's the COVID, Jim. It's the COVID. Nobody
I
wants
don't
to
care.
get
Give me
sick.
COVID. I want to be a gentleman.
Shout out to what you're going to do for the super chat. Thank you,
What
Jimmy.
you
Every
gonna
life
do when they come for
has an
you?
unwritten code. Looking back at what was on the rule, nobody ever said out loud, besides drugs or snitching, not to break. Looking back, what was the only one rule, or what was the one rule?
Well, there was a rule. You can't go near nobody's wife. It was a death sentence.
Yeah,
Somebody's daughter's a death sentence. Like when I wanted to go out with Vinny Ocean's daughter, Renee, good kid. She was a school teacher. I I asked him, and Rudy was there, and I asked him. He said, "Do you have good intentions?" And I said, "Yes," and I did. And she was a good girl, but we still remain friends even after we. She was one of the best kids I've ever met.
thank you, guys. Shout out to Holly Winkler 8812. This is the question that I messed up. Sorry about that once again. Would he change anything if he can go back in time as far as being in the mafia?
Yes, easy question. The best. I would have never did it. Never did it. I'd have stood in the school, even though I'm not a school guy. I went as high as junior high, 202. They didn't complete that. Um, I would have went to school, or definitely been at least like my father. I would have followed his footsteps, built a cell. I did do some of them, but I also did the other thing. Businesses. I would have been self-employed probably.
Thank you for the question. Thank you. Shout out to Florida guy. Jimmy, ever know any of the Westies?
Yes, well, there was a guy that was around him that I did a lot of work with, Jack McInerney. Serious guy, serious guy. He went away twice for murder. He
Yeah,
was my partner on a lot of things we did, and finally, he went away. He caught another bid. We got pitched together in Jersey. That's when the kid Sonny that we killed told he flipped on that case. Me and Jack was on that case.
yeah. Shout out to Sincere. Do you approach your YouTube channel with the same business model you had for business when you were active in the life aside from illegal and violent acts? Thank you. Nice question.
What they ask me if I'm in the YouTube, if
So
I'm
do you approach this business the same way that you approach, I guess, your rackets in the street, minus the violent acts? your loan sharking. Do you approach this the same, the YouTube world?
No, this is more not like a business to me. More like let's get it out there. Let's try to help. We help one kid. It's enough for me. And anybody in my community will tell you. And there, a lot of them will watch you. They'll tell you Zach is great with the kids. They all love me. I try my best. I was the president of Optimist Club in Georgia. I mean, I did a lot for the community. St. Jude's, I donate, all of them. I'm trying to give back a little for the bad I did.
Thank you for the question. And guys, remember, Jimmy is donating some of the proceeds from this channel straight to St. Jude's Hospital. Please, guys, if you ever have anything laying around or you guys have a good job and you can afford to donate to St. Jude's. They save lives over there. Most importantly, they save children's lives. So definitely donate to them. Shout out to Lost in the Fog 76. Do you ever run any horses in California?
No, I've been to Santa Anita and all, but I've never shipped out there and raced out there. The shipping's so expensive, and usually it's about back then it was like 4 grand, 5 grand, and there's no reason there was too many racetracks around me.
Shout out to The Truth. Do you have any stories about Salvatore Mariotello?
What crew was he with?
Let us know in the chat, guys, what crew he was with. We'll come back to it. Thank you, Jimmy and Brooklyn. Much respect to both of you for all your hard work and allowing all of us to be a part of your world. Thank you so much, brother, for the support. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate you. I really do. People like you make me want to come back on.
Thank you. We enjoy this. We come on. Sorry it's a little last minute. We don't get a chance to promote it, but we like to respect other people's channels. We know when the bigger people are coming on and, the Mafia Roundtable, shout out to them. We know the times they come on. So we like to go in a slot to make sure we can, answer questions for everybody because some people can't be in two different places at the same time. So thank you guys. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Shout out to T-Not 2829. Way to go, Jimmy Easy. Help the kids. Love this. Dom Sakali just robs his viewers. Shout out
Again,
to Sincere.
I'm not gonna get into this Junior politics. Don's been nothing but good. I mean, he brought us on his show. He plugged me on his show. Honestly, I can't say nothing bad about him, Gene, Joe Barone. You know, until somebody does me wrong, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not one to pray like talk about God. I became a Christian man, and I realized I give everybody a fair chance.
Shout out to Dom and Gene and the Mafia Roundtable. Thank you for making this genre what it is today. We appreciate that. We just want to work with anybody. Whoever it is, we're willing to sit down with them. Shout out to Sincere. I really feel like if you guys approach Netflix or media, movie platforms like them with an idea for a series about going from mob life to podcaster, it would get picked up. We appreciate that idea. Set it up, Sincere. We did have a lot of calls actually regarding that. Actually, we
Today we
actually got
had
one
a
today.
nice conference call with some pretty big people, and they happen to love my platform, everything, right? And Brooklyn is all. So we're in the talks right now, maybe or something. Hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed. But I'm not gonna say it till it's in writing. Talk is
Exactly.
cheap.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for that. But if you can set something up, we're all for it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bobby B, W4E. Where do you get a good pizza in Arkansas? Great question.
Walmart. No. No, I honestly I go to Marco's. They came at Marco's Pizza. They came out with a new New York style pizza. It really ain't bad at all. Maybe because I've been away, but I go home 3 times a year. I go to Spumoni Gardens. I go to Patsy's. I go every. I gotta have my Italian food when I go back. But Marco's, I eat at.
Marco's Pizzeria, guys. That's the best pizza he has out there in Arkansas. We actually have it here in Florida. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's New York, but it's the closest you're going to get down here in Florida. Shout out to Ariel Del Valle 9541. If Jimmy gets to achieve that, we'll definitely tune in. Thank you. We appreciate you,
Thank you
brother.
very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, thank you for the question. 111 people in the chat. Once again, we appreciate you all. Please smash the subscribe button. It's free, people. Hit that subscribe, share. We're going to be putting out plenty of content. We're going to be doing many things, bringing many surprise guests on. It's going to be fun. Just telling stories, answering questions. This is what we do it for. Shout out to Gambino5803. Do you know active guys in the mob who never got pinched?
That are out there today, you mean? Or you're talking about overall? Yeah, I knew some guys that never got pinched. Like I said, I knew a lot of guys that got pinched. It was either lucky or when you get pinched a dozen times and everybody else ain't getting pinched, you start to wonder once you're on this side. When you're hearing, don't worry about him or don't worry about this guy. And when it get agents get to know that you're really credible, you're not gonna lie to me. They'll be like, Jimmy, we're not worried about him. And they'll wink at you. So start trying, like put your thoughts on somebody else. There's a lot of guys out there, guys.
Yeah, for
This is
sure.
what I'm telling you. Take
Shout
it
out
for
to
what
all
it's
them.
worth.
Shout out to 19900Z. Good evening. I'm new to your channel. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. We
Thank you for
appreciate you.
coming.
What are you from? I'm assuming you're saying what family is he from? Please elaborate on that.
I'm Italian and I'm from the Delcavecante crime family, if that's what you mean.
There you go, brother. There you go. He's got another question, so we'll go ahead and take it. Jimmy, you ever go to my cousin Cafe 2000 on 101 Ave across from Gate of Heaven Church?
Oh, by the bus stop, right? Yeah, I've been in there. Long, long time ago. If that's the same one, there was a coffee joint, like, I don't know what the heck they had of cake and all there. Because I used to meet somebody over there. It was by really right off Woodhaven Boulevard. Is that what he's saying? The one, yeah.
Is it the one off Woodhaven? I'm assuming it says Haven Church, so it's got to be
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's it. Yeah, I've been in there.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. Yeah, he has been in there. Yeah, the reading is a little small for me, guys. Sorry about that. Jimmy, shout out your book, brother. Shout out your book.
Oh yeah, let me talk about my book. It's been flying off the shelf. Hitman Tell All about the Mafia and Witness Protection Program. A lot of people are intrigued about how the program works, and people are always intrigued about the Mafia. So that's how my publisher came up with the movie because I had the book. I had bodies, so she came up with it. She did a great job, Carissa. I gotta say, she really did.
I think you're froze, Jimmy. You're back. You're back. Guys, is he still froze? Let me know in the chat. Looks like he's back on my end. Once again, Hitman Tells All on Amazon, $16.99 for the soft copy, $5.99 for the Kindle. Also, we're going to shout out his Instagram and TikTok, Jimmy_Easy_Sirocco on those two platforms. And on YouTube, it's Jimmy Easy Mafia Life. Everyone hit the subscribe. We got over 112 people. Let us know some more questions. We'll feel happy to answer them. And thank you all for staying with us. We're 58 minutes in, and we're definitely going to go for about another 20 more minutes. So give us what you got, people. No holds bars. Nothing's off limits.
Any questions? Let's go.
Shout out to T Knot, Jimmy Easy. Bless you for helping the kids.
They're our future. And what's hurting these kids is social media. All these apps and all these weirdos out there on there. They should give all those child molesters life.
Shout out to DLAZ. When are you bringing Vinny Palermo on?
I would love to bring Rennie on. He wouldn't come on probably. But if he's watching and listening, anybody, there's nobody I will not bring on my channel. Okay? I don't hate nobody no more. I was raised now to pretty much to pray for my haters. I don't nobody can bother me. Vinny, I think we'd have a good conversation. There's a lot of questions I'd love to ask him, you know, but what are you gonna
Shout
do?
outs to him. Shout outs to
Like
him. If
Mikey
anybody,
Scars today asked me, who told the feds about all this? I said, I thought it was you. You don't know, because in the article that Proctor found, it showed Mikey Scar's picture there. It says in 1991, blah, blah, blah. So I said, Mikey, I thought it was you that gave them that. He said, no. So I don't know who gave it to them.
Thank you for the
That's what they got to
question.
tell me.
Shout outs to Vinny. Hey, listen, if you want to come on, if anybody got his contact, reach out. Jimmy's more than happy to sit with him, give him
Even
a platform,
civilians.
tell his story. Shout out to Lost in the Key Fog 76. Did you have any grade 1 horses?
Oh, yeah, I had allowance. Well, grade one, you're talking about flats, not the trotters. In the flat, I had a couple trotters, but in the flats, I had horses, emphatic style. I won stake races, disaster master, crooked man. I go on and on. I name them all. You know, I claimed a lot of horses. I was into like claiming them and dropping them. Let them. I'm the horse to beat. The best hop was a drop. So I claim a horse for 20. I run them next week for 15. And everybody be like, this guy's crazy. But meanwhile, I'm walking away with $15,000, $20,000 purse and my bet.
Yeah.
So, everybody's got a way how to run their horses. But I was leading owner. I could say that. The only body that got close to me was Outlaw Biker Stable. Juan Saray was the trainer. But I was leading owner. 3 years at Monmouth, Meadowlands, at 1,000s.
Shout out to Ariel Del Valle 9541. Hey Jimmy, any chance for Hootie to come on? Shout out to Hootie, great guy. We watched his
Yeah,
interview.
absolutely. Listen, again, anybody's welcome to come on. If they're going to start saying nasty and stupid things, I'm going to keep this clean. I will just put you off. But yeah, Hootie's more than welcome. Everybody's welcome. Even people that told on me. I don't care. I have no more remorse for no more hatred for nobody.
Thank you for the question. Paul Carley, H32. What's the most you could win on a Joker poker machine?
I mean, I think it's how they said it. There's a mechanism underneath the keyboard when you take it out. Like I had mine set at 86%. In other words, every dollar that put in that machine, I made 14 cents at the end of the day. So, but it only pay out almost as much as you took in. You ain't got no big jackpots. Don't believe that. Those are sucker game machines. Don't go near them. You notice they put them in bars because people are drunk or they're high and they keep shoving in money in. Oh, I loved it. I mean, I made a lot of money with those machines.
Was it in the thousands?
I made at least 10 grand a month emptying them, at least more. The one place you used to hang out, Linda Switch Up,
Yeah.
that was bringing me 2,500 a month there. That's when I first really met you.
So Linda's Sweet Shop was a candy store on Fifth Avenue between President and Carroll Street. It was a candy store in the front, and you go to a back secret door, and there was a bunch of Joker poker machines in the back. I was actually raised in there my whole life. I spent many, many, many hours of my childhood in there. That's how I know about this store. We used to take candy from the front. Shout out to Linda's. We appreciate her. Hey, Jimmy, you think casino slot machines are rigged unfairly?
They're not so. Listen. They got us at the house wins. You see how pretty those casinos are. They give you those free meals, free dinners. You're paying one way or another. Those machines, forget about it. When you hit, you got to get up and walk away. But it's probably the lowest odds in a casino. That, the money wheel. I know all about gambling. Roulette. Those are the sucker bets.
When I play roulette, it's only two things for me. This is what goes to tell you how much of a non-gambler I am. It's either red or black. If I miss on one of those, the game is over for me, guys. I don't do the numbers. I like a 50-50 chance. Well, you got the green in there, so that makes it somewhat like a
Yeah, that's
30%
the turtle. We
chance.
call that the turtle. Here comes the turtle. That's the one in the house number.
So one thing
Sad
I wanted
stuff.
to ask you about that, I believe his name was Anthony Capo. Do you know how many people, because I read an article where it said this was the first time ever in history where the FBI had the full hierarchy in one family cooperate, meaning the boss, an associate, a soldier, a capo, so on. The list goes on.
If you go to Hollywood Wade's show and you listen to Seamus, he's one of the agents on the case. He's the first time in history. He said since little, like Sammy, then after Anthony Capo flipped, he was really the first wise guy to ever flip in our family. Then when he flipped, I mean, in between then, you had a long time. You know, there was no big little Aldi Darko years ago, Sammy. But after Sammy, it stopped for a while. Like little guys, but main guys cooperated. No.
Yeah,
But Anthony Capo, when he flipped, he did a lot of damage. He Ralphie did with the wires, but Anthony with the murders. That's the murder that brought down like 20 wise guys. The Fred Weiss murder that was done for John Gotti,
yeah, I did see that. I
and,
did hear that
and the
in the interview.
Diamato murder. Between the two of them, it destroyed them.
Yes. And I heard a story also about a gentleman named Frankie. I believe his name is the Beast. What was the
Yeah,
story with him?
he was a big tough guy. He hung out more with the Jersey guys fraction. I met him in prison, and nice guy, nice guy. He was proposed. I heard that. He cooperated too. Allegedly, that somebody told him to go kill Anthony Capo's wife and kids, and Frankie would never do that. I got no shit. He loved his family, loved his kids. He's a good father. So I don't see that. Frankie, at that point, they forced him to turn his back and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to.
And I
You
heard
know,
the
they,
same.
they went back to the old Sicilian style. We kill the wife and kids. And you see how quick they shut up.
I heard the same for sure. I heard the same story. Shout out to the Truth 4267. Jimmy, tell us a Louis Haha story.
Louis a great guy. You know, he got the name Aha because the slightest little thing. He's not a big guy, but when he laughs, he's got a laugh that'll light up a room. And Louis, we were Sellies at Fort Dix, and we took the alcohol and drug program to get time off. So we got done with the program. Everybody's going home. They're throwing a party. You go home after you complete your class. They called us into the counselor's office. You got nothing coming. GNC, right on big stamp, right on our paperwork. Me and Louis got nothing coming. If you organize crime in any way in your jacket, they would refuse our halfway house, everything. But Louis had so much money. Louis drove a Rolls Royce. Louis had so much money. He called his lawyer, and then he told me to call my lawyer, and there was a little old man named Dominic Pepietro, Pepe. He called his lawyer. They did the same thing to him. 3 times they wouldn't let us go get the halfway out. We got it, but we lost a month or two out of it, but we got it.
Shout out to 514 Crip. Thank you for the super chat. Jimmy, point blank, how many guys did you shoot yourself?
Um, probably about 4.
Thank you for the question, brother. Thank you for the question. Shout out to TBE Racing for the super chat. We appreciate you. Jimmy, did you ever bet the horses today? Thank you
Yeah,
too,
I
brother.
do. I have an app on my phone. Listen, I'm in Arkansas.
He's
The
guilty,
only
people.
action I got
He's
is on my
guilty.
phone. Don't punish me anymore. No, I love it
He's
here.
guilty.
I I do bet my horses, but years ago I bet stupid money. Now I put $200 on my app. I bet $2 to win, $2 to place. Give me something to do in the car lot. It gets a little quiet at times, so then I'll pop up the races and kill some time.
Shout out to Team Still Love watching you guys. We appreciate doing this for you.
Thank you.
Shout out to Gambino 5803. Did you work with any crooked cops on the street?
Yeah, I did, and yeah. I did. I did. When I say cop, they were locals. But I did get information from higher ups, like Drew and Rudy and all. But I knew locals in the neighborhood would tell me the 7-8, they locked me up 3 times in 1 month.
Yes.
I mean, I'll get word, Kevin Gallagher, his name was. He got stripes when he caught me with a gun one time. He got extra stripe because of me. He became detective. And
And for
they
those that
wanted
don't
me
know,
so
seven
bad.
eight is a precinct. For those that don't know,
Yeah,
7-8 is the
7-8
local
precinct.
precinct in our neighborhood. Shout out to 514 Crip. Thank you for the super chat. Jimmy, did you know any tough Jewish gangsters?
Yeah, I knew a lot of tough Jewish kids. They were so coupled about that, really tough. You know, they did some bookmaking, but they could never, get close because they're not Italian, full blooded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know a bunch of Jewish kids.
Thank you for that. One more for 514 Crip. Thank you for the super chat. Jimmy, what were the big differences between the decals and New York City?
Well, when you ask it out, you're saying like the Cavs have a Jersey fraction, Elizabeth, Newark, and then we have the Brooklyn fraction. I was with the Brooklyn fraction. So, I mean, that's the only difference. But we work together with the same family. Even when they had to do a piece of work, they knew everything.
Thank you for the question, guys. Brooklyn underscore 718. Jimmy, where were you in Brooklyn?
Carroll Street.
Carroll Street between 5th and 4th Avenue, mostly 5th
No,
Avenue.
fifth and sixth. No, fourth and fifth. Yeah.
5th and 4th Avenue, guys. Carroll Street and Park Slope, Brooklyn, downtown. Guys, hit that like button, smash the subscribe. 124 people in the chat. Thank you so much for staying with us. We appreciate all the questions. Yeah, we've been hearing about this. We're not even going to bring his name up, but we definitely did see the video. He's a bum. Shout out to Florida guy. Jimmy, who is the toughest guy you know, or knew in the streets? Oh, no, knew of in the streets.
I mean, the most ruthless part, you get a guy like Royal DeMayo, yeah, Roy DeMayo, Tommy Karate, treacherous kid. Matter of fact, they're doing a movie, I think, of him or something, if I heard right. Yeah, Tommy Karate was tough. A lot of those a lot of the Giannini crew kids were tough. Johnny A. Light was a tough kid, and hopefully he'll come home.
Free Johnny A. Light, free him. Shout out to Ariel Del Valle 9541. Jimmy, The Sopranos was inspired by your family. Which Sopranos character you see yourself as?
Well, I didn't, but all like the boss and all, because I had a hatred crime that not a hatred. I did something bad to a guy, and it was a child molester, and so they would all look at me and say, joke around like my eye, take his eyes out. So when we were watching The Sopranos, somebody said they had a scene. A guy just came home. I was extorting a pizza guy. I had a problem with that, and I did. We beat him up. And it's like all our 302s were turned over to Chase. That's what we kept saying. And make a long story short, in the movie, you see him say, still crazy enough to take an eye out.
Yeah. Shout out to Vito Calzone 28347. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to bring it up, Jimmy. You can make it quick. Jimmy, you ever have a Tony Pizza cigarette ash pie?
Look at me. I wouldn't sit in the same chair that's Wall sat in. He's so dirty, despicable.
Shout
Come
out to
on. I
Dylan
block
Thomas.
him. I don't even want him on my channel. I'll scratch later thinking about this dirty bastard. Go ahead.
Shout out to Dylan Thomas 2288. Do you know the gay gangster that got whacked in the family?
Yeah, Johnny D'Amato. Yes, I know him. I don't know for sure. I want to say he's gay. Be honest with you. I think it was because they didn't want him because when Jake died and the Eagle went away and everybody's fighting for the reins, who's going to be acting until they decide? Rudy and all them wanted Corky and this one that. So do I believe that? Yeah. Do I believe he was spotted halfway? A swingers club? I don't know. Anthony Capel said that, but and I'm not knocking Anthony Capel. He passed away, but he had a bad drug problem, bad, and he did not like him. And Rudy didn't like him. Vinny didn't like him. So Anthony Capel comes and tells you, "Oh, he was spotted in a swingers club." His girlfriend told Anthony Capel. Why is your girlfriend telling you about a swingers club? And that was brought up with the age of Seamus because Hollywood Wade, when he interviewed me, he asked me about that. I said, since when do you talk to the boss's girl or wife, whatever, about sexual things, what you're doing? How does that conversation come up? Wade said, you're right. He brought it up to the age of Seamus. He said, Jimmy's right about that.
Yeah.
But he said there was two parts. He was also gambling very heavily with the Decavalcante's money and putting the family in jeopardy. See, I didn't know about that, if that's true. But I don't believe he got killed because of that. No, no, not a million years.
So I actually seen an interview. Actually, it was that Seamus detective where he said that was just one of the reasons that he got killed. The second reason was he was borrowing money on the name of the family, on the name of the Delcavecante family, and it wasn't really for them. And that was coming straight from the lead FBI agent,
He
Seamus
was,
himself.
yeah, he flipped Anthony Capo. He started the tumbling ball, Seamus. He did.
Thank you for the question. Shout out to JJBK2356. Jimmy, around what year did New York tell the DeCaficante family that they couldn't recruit my guys anymore?
That guy knows what he's talking about. What do you mean recruit straight guys out he's talking about? Make them?
New York guys, New York guys.
At a certain point, they put a hold on it. And that gave him John. But then after they did the murders for them, the Weiss murder and all, then they opened it. Then they made Capo and they proposed Frankie the Beast. They proposed Victor DiChiera. And then when I did something with Rudy, he told me when the book's open, he's going to bring me in, and he passed the word around. But they did put a hold. That whoever that guy is, he knows what he's talking about.
Do you know around what year that was?
I want to say 92, 93, maybe 94. If I'm Yeah, and it was the mid 90s or a little below the mid 90s because I was racing the horses at the time and I was on top at that point and I already had a piece of work done. And Rudy figured, you know what, this kid's, loan shark, bookbank. I had 50, 60 racehorses. You heard Proctor, he found it. I didn't say it. The kid's on top of it. You want to make a kid like that because he's yours forever. But once you're made, you're giving away more money. See, a lot of people don't realize the title is one thing to have that, but you're putting an X on your back with the FBI. And also when you do murders, you put an X. So
Yeah.
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Shout out to Yara Suleiman 453. Is
Yes.
Sacco's pork store still
Century
mobbed up?
yes, that's the knockoff. When they filmed Sopranos, that's not far. They filmed it just like they hang out at Sacco's, they filmed Sopranos there.
Shout out to 514 Crip. Thank you for the super chat. Can you tell some stories quick of the four shootings you did?
One of them was Ronald Holmes. After hours, I walked in and shot him. Other one, Raymond Giordano. I sit down with Joe Watts and Rudy, and they gave us permission to handle it amongst each other. So I went home and I got a driver and went out there. He lived, and the other one was my niece's boyfriend. He was 18 or 19, she was 15. And I warned him. He got locked up. His brother got locked up on a case with Nikki and Lenny with me. I shot him, and then a year later he ran away with her again, and I shot him again. Um, who else? There's one more. Who is it? Oh, I got locked up on 7th Avenue, 16th Street. Confrontation in a car next to me, a guy that was friends with Ronald. And I let shots go at him. And all of a sudden, I heard from across the street, police, drop your weapon. I had the red Jeep. I don't know if you remember that. And I took off. I had somebody to call me. And I took off. They chased me. When I hit Prospect, traffic's going this way. I was going this way, trying to give it a gun. They're right on my ass. I figured once they're out of my sight where they can't film it, I'm going to chuck the gun. As soon as I went down Garfield Place, there's a transmission place. As soon as I make the turn, I told the guy to press, chuck the gun. As soon as we made the turn, roadblock. They got me. They found me with a fake DEA badge. Well, it was really a real one. We stole it. They found me with a phony driver's license. So the passenger, we all got charged. So the passenger had a squeaky clean record. So Jimmy DePietro and Alaroni, I don't know if they can remember them. He said to me, look, the prosecutor's looking for convictions. Let Jimmy take the plea to personating, criminal possession of a forged instrument, whatever they labeled it, with the badge and the driver's license. And the other guy take the gun, they'll drop from the discharge and reckless endangerment down to the gun charge. And that's what we did. So he got probation, I got probation, and I took care of him.
Thank you for the question, brother. Shout out to Dylan Thomas 2288. Would Giovanni Rocco ever come on, the undercover FBI agent? That
My
we do
agent,
not know.
Gianno Rocco,
Giovanni Rocco.
I don't know, but
I don't
they're
know.
all welcome. I'll
Shout
take
out to
anybody on.
JJBK2356. Jimmy, you know the Jersey guys from the Lance Street crew in Little Italy?
Yes. Yes. I stay Rudy there once a week. Yes. I know exactly what you mean. Some of them are still active, so.
Shout out to Yara Suleiman 453. You ever had a run-in with Joe Miranda?
I know who it is, but no problems with no.
Guys, thank you so much. 127 people in the chat. You guys been with us for over an hour, 22 minutes to be exact. Smash that subscribe button, please, everyone. Thank you for liking us. Thank you for supporting our content. We appreciate it. We're going to give you guys another 8 minutes, answer a few more questions, then we're going to jump off. Everyone on Amazon, Hitman Tells All, $16.99 for the book. $5.99 for the Kindle. Go support. If you want it signed, reach out to us direct. Jimmy Easy, mgmt@gmail.com. We can work that out as well.
And we're doing shout outs too. Like if you want me to call anybody or do a shout out on here, I'll be happy to do it for you.
Shout out to 514 once again. Jimmy, what did Rudy and the other Jersey guys think of The Sopranos?
Oh, listen, it was like the weirdest thing. Like Anthony was saying, if you just go on YouTube, you listening, and you Google real live Sopranos talking, because Ralphie Guarino, when he was on tape, the guy that robbed the World Trade Center. So when he was on tape, they were in a car talking. Hey, you watch that show? You see how there's Sackos? They're showing Sachiasses. It's every time we watch the show, you see more things that we relate to. And they start talking about who's who. I was away at that time. I wasn't on that tape, but I was away at Fort Dix. That's when Ralphie wired up.
Thank you for the question. Constantino, is Larry Mazza coming on tonight? Guys, Larry Mazza and Jimmy Easy will be on American Made Tuesday. Tuesday, they will be live together on American Made. Go check it out. It's going to be great. It won't be tonight, but they will be together Tuesday.
Larry's a good guy. And any of you know about the Colombo War, or Greg Scarpa, as a matter of fact, the movie's coming out next month. I'll tell you, go watch it. I know Greg Scarpa Jr., Wahlberg's in it. It's going to be a good movie. I highly recommend it. Matter of fact, Greg sent me a message the other day about doing a show together. So we might do one right before the movie comes out. Anyway, his father was really a serious guy.
Shout out to Greg Scarpa Jr. Great movie. Definitely gonna go watch it. Shout out to Eduardo Jimenez. Jimmy, what can you tell us about Joe Watts?
Joe Watts is a treacherous guy. He's a filthy rich, dangerous guy. I had a problem with a guy named Raymond Giordano from Staten Island over money situation. And Joe Watts came to Rudy, and we sat down, and we didn't work it out. So Raymond kept talking stupid, and Rudy says, "You want to be a big shot? Well, how about you and Jimmy handle it yourselves?" Raymond said, "I'd love that." So I went home. I got Pluto, whoever knew him. Me and him went out to Staten Island. We caught him coming out, but we didn't kill him. But we let go on him and his son. So that's really two shootings in one. But I forgot to say that to you.
Thank you for the
His son was
question.
in the life. He wasn't a kid. No, he was in the life.
Shout out to John C1231. Did you ever meet any of John Riggy's sons?
Not that I can recall. Not that I can recall. No.
Shout out to Vito Calzone 28347. Thank you for the super chat. What's the over on Tony Pizza taking a shower?
I'll pay for the water. How's that? Listen, I'll rent him a hotel if he needs it.
Thank you for the question. 514. Jimmy, was Greg Scarpa Jr. a shooter?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm one that I know. He was right there. I think he did it. Yeah, because there was a guy named John Siganera around him. He was married to Charlotte or Claudine. That was Greg's niece. I can't remember which one he was married to. And he told me the night when a piece of work was done in Mulberry Street, he said the kid Greg did that. And that was years ago, and they were he was getting straightened out or becoming a captain because John was under him. But John ran away to Vegas because he thought Greg was going to kill him. So, is he a shooter? I would bet so.
A
Don't
bunch
take
of
much.
people. A bunch
Trust
of
me.
people in the chat believe it too. We have a bunch of people in the chat saying the same.
His father, and I believe Greg. His father told him right away, there was a guy in the grocery store, go kill him. He did. He said he did. If you say it and you didn't, you're going to have a new charge. That's how I feel.
Shout out to Johnny in London. We see you in the chat, brother. Shout out to London. Share our YouTube channel out there. We want to see some London people in here. Shout out to London, Australia. Shout out to Russia. We have Russia in the chat. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you. Guys, once again, 128 people in the chat. We appreciate you. Smash that subscribe, hit the like, share all the content. Thank you for everyone coming out, staying with us for an hour and 27 minutes. I was listening to Sammy the Bull about Greg Scarpa Jr. Never again. He's no rat. Paul Carley H32.
See, he feels Greg Scarpa's over. Like I said, it's a tricky situation. He took 40 years. He's a man for that. But on the other hand, people question him because he did call the ages, but he was trying to stop a terrorist plot. So, I think there's a lot worse rats out there than that.
Yeah.
That's
Basically, he
all.
was trying to save Americans. He was stuck between a rock and a hard
He
place. So I
wired
commend
up
him
on
for
him.
that.
He used to have a bed years ago.
Yeah.
You
Shout
know,
out to Ariel Del Valle 9541. Hey, Jimmy, did you or anyone in the family had a pizza shop on Knickerbocker Ave in Brooklyn?
yes, my dad. My dad, right across the street from the original, I think it was Lenny's, one of those, right across the street. My father was a. Then we wound up getting to know the Lenny's family, Joe, his daughter Claudine. I think I'm getting the names right. Yeah, we got to know them good. But my father was like, they were starting out. So was Joe from Lenny's. He started out over there by the bus depot. Yeah, that was my dad.
Shout out to Carmine S. Jimmy, you must know Charlie Stango.
Of course. Everybody. I believe he's in charge now, but again, that's only what I'm hearing. You're in the life, then you could say for sure. I'm not. I'm out of the life 25 years.
We're going to take like 2 or 3 more questions, guys, before we jump off of here. Remember, smash the like, smash the subscribe. Thank you for sharing. Would you save your American family from terrorism if you had the chance? Shout out to John McCaratan.
John, like I said with Greg, he was in a bad spot because you're talking about innocent women and children. In the mob, we believe women and children never get touched. You know, you see something in the street, you don't stop it, you're gonna have a beef from your boss. We were raised in the neighborhood. Old ladies could have slept with the doors open. We had the club there. You know, do what does it say, terrorist? I would probably do it, I think. Now saying it, but maybe then I don't know. I might try to stab or something. I don't know. But I definitely couldn't let women and children get hurt, so I'd have to probably tell.
Shout out to 514. Thank you for the super chat. You ever hear anything of the Rizzutos in Montreal?
I heard a lot about them, but I never did no direct business with them, but I did hear a lot about them. Matter of fact, Rudy would say those names all the time, a lot.
Thank you for the super chat, brother. John C1231. Could you tell us any stories about Tin Ear?
Joey Scafani? No, yeah, well, Charlie Majuri. Charlie Majuri. I'm getting names mixed up. Charlie Majuri. I mean, there's nothing to talk about him. He's still living with his mother. He's in his 70s, 60s. I mean, he was never an earner. Dangerous guy, capable of killing somebody, without a doubt. You know, without a doubt, treacherous guy, but he's not an earner.
There you
When I
go,
heard it,
guys.
that's the other guy I heard was running it. When I heard that, I was like, bang, thank God I flipped.
Guys, we're going to take one more question. One more question from Florida Guy 03. If you had a movie made about you, who would you want to play you?
My favorite actor, Joe Pesci.
Great actor.
He
Great
is.
actor. Great actor. Actually, we're going to go with one more question. King Jones DA first 4. Is Fontaine Colombo the same person as Chris or Joe Colombo?
No. Well, Fontaine Colombo is really Greg Scarpa's other page. I think it's his managers. Because, you know, those are the ones, they send me the message, Greg, you know, like that. You know, today I got it from them. Them. So that's Greg Scarpa's, you know. Yeah. That's Greg
Tin
Scarpa's
Ear.
page.
Tin Ear was Scalfani.
Yeah, there you go. I get
Okay.
the, listen, 25 years, you know, Tinny, I would have known.
Shout out to Joe Gagliardi. Jimmy, did you know Bucky Caravaggio? Rob Caravaggio, Bucky from Jersey. Sorry if I pronounced the names wrong, guys.
Bucky. I knew a Bucky, but he was from Elizabeth. Yeah, I know a Bucky. He was a bookmaker.
Was
I
he
don't
from
get him mixed up with
Elizabeth?
Faith.
Let me know in the chat, guys.
Yeah, that's got to be him. Ain't many Buckies. Yeah, it's got to be. How did you?
Guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining the live with us. This last minute Q&A was amazing. We had a great time. We had a lot of questions. I'm sure Jimmy feels the same. He likes a little challenge, right, Jim?
Yeah, please come at me. Do your homework. Write down everything so you don't forget. We're gonna do another Q&A. I was thinking about every Monday night. Mob Talk Q&A. Any questions you want, come up, maybe Monday nights, maybe. We'll make it official every Monday night. Certain time, I'll lock it in. And whoever joins in, I'm grateful.
And you know, there's one thing this Francisco said that I actually want to bring to light before we jump off. Joey Pistone, man, we would love to have him on. We
Yeah.
would love to speak to him. We would love to hear his story from the inside. I've seen his story many times. I actually just watched him on Michael Franchese's new channel. It was an amazing interview. He's a great gentleman. He played a good role. Everything about him was just great. So yeah, we would love to have him
You
on.
talk about the agent from Donnie Brasco?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, let me tell you something. And I don't know if he's listening, that's him or not. it takes balls what he did. You know, you're going in a room not knowing if you're coming out. You know, I believe a guy like him, I mean, I'm not praising him and have the people hate me in the streets. The guy's more than a thug to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I've walked in rooms. There's times I left my house, I left my money home not knowing when I got sent for places. You don't know. You're walking in and it's your best friend. That's what these young kids got to remember. They killed that kid, Paul Garino, whatever his name, from Bath Avenue, Spiro, had him killed. He was a good kid. His best friend, I think it was Jimmy Calandra and them killed him. That kid didn't deserve to die. Nice kid. But that's why I'm telling these kids, don't do it. You want your mom and dad visiting you through to bars. Hopefully they listen.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate you tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us for an hour and 35 minutes. We hope we answered all the questions. We'll be back hopefully within the next 2 days. Look out for a bunch of podcasts we're going to be going on. Johnny Mitchell. We have, we're going to be doing Ian Burke. We're going to be doing, I believe, Cam Capone news. Jimmy's going to be a very busy man. So stay tuned. We got a lot of content coming out. We appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Shout outs to everyone in the chat with the great questions. Everyone who left the super chat. Thank you. Jimmy, good night, brother. I appreciate
Good night,
you.
everybody. Thank you much. God bless and stay safe. And again, I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Don't forget, Hitman Tells All in stores on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. $16.99, $5.99 for the Kindle. Everybody share Jimmy Easy Mafia Life on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok is Jimmy_Easy_Sirocco. Let's get those Instagram followers up. We like to interact with people. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night. We out.
Have a good night, folks. God bless.